Can I ask, as everyone has taken their places, so I wish you all a good morning. And may I also, of course, add bienvenue and willkommen to everyone.
There goes a very special thank to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, for co-organizing this event with Nestlé today. Last year, President of Colombia, Juan Manuel Santos, gave the opening remarks about the role of the private sector in the economic and social development of Colombia, and I'm very pleased to say that this afternoon we are going to have the President of the Swiss Confederation with us in the afternoon.
What does UNCTAD do about it? What can international organizations do in this respect? I think we help governments build enabling environment for business to create shared value.
But what's different about creating shared value, I believe, is the emphasis on creating new opportunity for business. That companies are finding a competitive positioning that is rooted in a social purpose.
If there is one constituency that has understood the concept of shared value, is the smaller guys in the smaller countries, in the poorest countries, because for them this concept of shared value means opportunities.
Has the role of business in society, does it really need to change? And why?
The problem of today is that being an affluent society, and specifically in the western part, we alienated somewhere the population, people from that activity in a negative way. And the financial crisis didn't help, because there again, the short-termism, the me now instead of us tomorrow, has got the upper hand. So it is just a fantastic way of explaining, of combining the what companies do, economic activity does, with the how. And you combine that with values. The values. We should not mix up also
creating shared value and values. Yes,
but
exactly.
the values. Values being, if you would, like I speak for Nestlé, our values, our culture, if I would have to say it in one word, it is respect.
Whether it's any kind of post-crisis in particular, if we don't have cooperation among government, among NGOs, and with the private sector, you will not get the job done.
Well, that's absolutely true, and particularly in patriarchal societies where there is a whole issue of women's empowerment, girls' education, gender-related issues around nutrition. And that's why it's so important to put squarely on the table the issue that nutrition-specific interventions have to be coupled with nutrition-sensitive interventions.
That we need to do is we need to create a way in which smallholders can be part of this value chain.
Mm-hmm. Because if you put iron in food, or if you drink iron, first of all, it tastes very badly. And second, it is not necessarily absorbed. And that's where the talent and the skill of a food company like ours can actually contribute. And when I think of a city like New Delhi, 16 million people, Sao Paulo, another 16 million, I don't see any other way than science-based processed food to bring diversity in urbanization agglomerations of that size.
So if public sector and the private sector can also partner in these awareness campaigns where we can borrow the expertise in the private sector and in the corporate sector, in communication sector, I think this awareness campaign can be done much more effectively.
And now I invite you both to sign the new 5-year global corporate partnership between IFRC and the Nestlé. Your places.
Now to invite Madison Ayer and Edward Renzi to come up here and to accept the prize. And I think, may I invite Madison, you want to say?
We still have a continent which relies mostly on women farming. Mm-hmm. Women farming, so we still have to bring in the men also to farm.
We want to create value for society as we create value for shareholders. So the question is, how can you build fairness in your supply chain regarding to the value shared?
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, on behalf of Nestlé, and if I dare to say also our co-organizers for this event, UNCTAD, who is presented here by its Secretary General, Mukisha Kitui, I would like to give you a very warm welcome and to thank you very much for having accepted to be with us today at the 6th Global Creating Shared Value Forum.
Many, many cities have had the experience of putting together fairly expensive and extensive and well-functioning systems, only to have them almost catapulted or sometimes completely destroyed by somebody saying, we're going to be drinking the same water as the toilet. Well, yes, we are, but I mean, the moment the toilet is drinking the same water as we are, that's the main problem.
Spontaneously brought forward the argument which makes the discussion about water not optional.
First of all, I would like to thank you all, dear friends of water, of emotions, and of reality. I would like to thank you all for the warm welcome beforehand. I would like to thank you also for having invited me to this forum. This is why we have strongly advocated for a standalone goal on water in the very important post-2015 development agenda. Another initiative in which we are involved, again with Nestlé, is the 2030 Water Resource Group, which is an innovative public-private civil society partnership conceived within the World Economic Forum.
The fact that this meeting here has been about how to raise ambition on creating shared value sets the stage very well for the issues that we want to continue. We want to build on the momentum you're building here.
This sixth Creating Shared Value Global Forum was there to provoke a thinking process or develop further thinking process. The Creating Shared Value concept or way of thinking is not something new. I want to stress that again. It is something that should wake up an awareness of the fundamental role of economic activity in society. And I have mentioned it at the beginning of the day that when business or the economic activity thinks in long-term perspectives and does that with a set of values, and I mentioned it linked with respect, what it does should create value for society at large. It should connect